he deserves it, and we want to see the third.
We'll see the third fight now.
Yeah.
Now my time to come back.
Well, you come back, we saw Turki Alalshikh come up to you right after, put 3 fingers in the air, saying third fight. Is that what you want? A rubber match with Dimitri Bivol?
Actually, I don't want second fight too. I mean, it's not my choice, but no problem. We're gonna do third fight if we need.
With the most anticipated fight of the decade finally over, it seems like we are not yet done with this rivalry, as Turki Alalshikh hints at the third match. Meanwhile, Dimitri Bivol acknowledged that Artur Beterbiev applied pressure from the opening bell, forcing him to maintain distance and work behind his punches. Bivol explained that at one point he intentionally went down as Beterbiev was pressing forward, allowing him to read his opponent's movements and adjust his strategy accordingly.
Fight was going like he was pressuring since the beginning. I was trying to keep him on the distance and throwing punches more, and then I decided to go a little bit down because he started pushing more also, and I was observing what is going on, what he's gonna do, and then I saw what he was doing, everything.
Bivol stated that facing Artur Beterbiev this time did not surprise him, as he had already studied and understood his style. He described Beterbiev as a relentless fighter who only moves forward, emphasizing that any hesitation or fear against him could lead to destruction.
No, I wasn't surprised because I know him, I know his personality, I know his boxing style. This is the person who's going only forward and trying to destroy his opponents. You know, I know this. And if you have a little bit fear inside of you, you will be destroyed by him. If you don't have plan, you will be destroyed by him, easy.
Bivol further explained that having a solid game plan is crucial, and even if executing it proves challenging, sticking to it can lead to success. He emphasized that facing a fighter like Beterbiev is about standing firm and not backing down.
But if you have your plan and you are following it, even if it's hard, but you are following, it's about how to fight against such fighters, you know.
Artur Beterbiev's trainer, Mark Ramsey, acknowledged that it was a highly competitive and closely contested fight. He admitted that their camp had anticipated a different outcome after 12 weeks of intense preparation, but accepted the result with a heavy heart.
It was a good fight, it was a close fight. Of course, we have a lot of deception. Like, we worked for about 12 weeks, very hard, very on specific stuff, and now we expect some differing conclusion, but it is what it is.
In addition, Mark Ramsey noted that Dimitri Bivol took the first 2 rounds, but rounds 3 through 6 were dominated by Beterbiev. At that point, he believed Beterbiev had the momentum and a real chance to stop Bivol. However, Bivol made a quick recovery.
From actually, Dimitri have 2 good rounds to start, like round 1 and 1, you win the 1 round for sure, 2 was more close, 3, 4, 5, 6 was all Beterbiev, and at one point I really believe he will stop him. Like, I can see his emotion every time that hearts are hit him, and the hearts are a little bit slow down after that, and Dimitri take back the lead a little bit of the fight.
Mark Ramsey also acknowledged that both fighters took lessons from their first encounter and made key adjustments for the rematch. According to the trainer, we got to see better versions of both fighters.
I think also have a good training camp. It was a better version, but also we also saw a better version of Bivol. I think both guys take information from the first fight and make a little bit of adjustment.
Just like Mark, John Scully explained that their strategy for the rematch was to start faster, given that in the first fight they finished strong, but many felt it wasn't enough. He noted that in the first half of the bout, the plan was working effectively.
We felt like we needed to start a little quicker this time, because last time we had a great finish, but a lot of people thought it wasn't enough. So we wanted to start a little quicker, and I thought, especially the first half of the fight, I thought it was working very, very well.
At one point, Scully noted that Dimitri Bivol mounted a comeback around the 7th round. After that, Bivol's confidence grew, shifting the momentum of the fight for the next few rounds.
You know, at one point, maybe the 7th round, give or take, I thought Artur took a round off, and Dimitri got back in, and I think his confidence went up at that point, and the fight kind of changed at that point for several rounds.
John Scully also highlighted Bivol's determination to win, noting a key difference from their previous fight. He explained that in their first encounter, Bivol moved a lot but lacked initiative. This time, however, he wasn't as mobile but was more fluid with his punches, letting his hands go more effectively. Scully commended him for that adjustment.
Yeah, I thought he was determined. He just like anybody. I mean, he wanted to win. He wanted to do what he had to do to win. I thought last time he moved way too much, and I thought that was why he lost. He didn't really show that initiative. This time he wasn't on his bicycle as much, and he was letting his hands go a little more fluidly. I thought he did a good job in that regard.
Moving on, Bivol laughed off Beterbiev's refusal to shake hand, pointing out that they are both nearing 40, not teenagers. He said it didn't bother him, as Beterbiev stated he would only shake hands after a third fight. For now, Beterbiev simply congratulated him and left it at that.
Of course, at some point we're not 16, yeah, we are almost 40 years old, and I'm not shaking hands with my opponent. It's kind of weird, but if he's like this, no problem. I came to him after the fight directly in the ring, and I told him I respect him and everything, and I shake his hand. And after this, I think he spoke with Turki Alalshikh, and then he came to us and he said, I will shake your hand only after the third fight.
However, Dmitry Bivol made it clear that, for now, his priority is rest rather than choosing his next opponent. After allowing his body time to recover, he stated he would be ready to face anyone, whether that be a long-anticipated clash with Canelo Alvarez or a decisive trilogy bout with Beterbiev.
It doesn't matter. Now I wanna rest, I wanna heal my body, and then I will wait offer, doesn't matter what.
In addition, Turki Alalshikh affirmed that Bivol was a deserving winner and confirmed that discussions for a trilogy fight would begin as soon as Beterbiev accepts the offer from Turkey.
He deserves it, and we want to see the third.
We'll see the third fight now.
Yeah.
Frank Smith weighed in on the growing calls for a trilogy, stating that many already saw Bivol as being 2-0 over Beterbiev, believing he had done enough to win their first bout as well. He suggested this sentiment was a major reason why the rematch was made quickly. However, he acknowledged both fighters as elite competitors and recognized that a third fight would still generate massive interest.
Yeah, look, a lot of people, like you say, people talking about the trilogy. I believe it's 2-0 unofficially. You know, I believe he won the first fight again, and a lot of people have that same feeling. Hence why the rematch happened so quickly. So you know, it's 2-0. But look, it's two elite operators. It's a fight people would want to see again, of course. You know, another huge fight is obviously the Canelo Alvarez fight as well. At some point, you know, I know he's got his own path that he's on as well. You know, he's obviously fighting Williams Cole. Then talk about the Crawford fight after that.
Teofimo Lopez analyzed Beterbiev's game plan. He took note of the fact that Beterbiev focused more on attacking the body than the head. Lopez believed that if Beterbiev had continued targeting the body, it could have slowed Bivol down throughout the fight. Despite the outcome, Lopez had emphasized that the focus should now shift toward a potential trilogy to settle the rivalry once and for all.
Landing a little bit more, a bit better. I think what I would take from Beterbiev, I think what I noticed a bit different was that he was going for the body more than the head. I think he should have kept going that route. I think it would have slowed Bivol down. But hey, I think that we should look forward to a trilogy now.
Yeah, you think a third fight?
I think that'd be awesome. You know, the Trinity trilogy.
Echoing that sentiment, Terence Crawford praised Bivol's improved conditioning, stating that he entered this fight in better shape than in their first meeting. Crawford credited Bivol's relentless determination and greater hunger for victory, emphasizing that his stronger will ultimately made the difference in securing the win.
He was in better shape. Yeah? He left it all in the ring. He wanted them more.
Moving forward, Eddie Hearn noted that this fight played out differently from their first encounter. He pointed out that in the previous bout, Bivol faded late, whereas this time, Beterbiev started fast but seemed to tire as the fight progressed. Hearn admitted he didn't expect Bivol to shift the momentum so decisively, but credited him for doing so. According to Hearn, for a few rounds, it was completely one-way traffic in Bivol's favor.
I mean, the fight was different this time. You know, last time, probably Bivol faded a little bit and Beterbiev come strong at the end. This time, Beterbiev started fast but probably tired a little bit when Bivol just turned the screw. And I didn't think he could turn the screw necessarily at that stage. It was a one-way traffic for those couple of rounds, and he looked so dangerous. And again, like the skill and the composure and the concentration was just incredible.
Yeah.
According to Andy Clark, the right man won. He acknowledged that Beterbiev had a strong spell in the middle rounds, but the key decisive moments came in the second half of the fight. Clark noted that from the halfway point onward, Bivol had the lead and maintained control.
He had a good spell in the middle, Beterbiev. I didn't score it round by round, but a key point really was, I think, just the second half of the fight, basically. He needed to provide a response, Bivol, because at halfway he was down. I thought he was down. Maybe 4-2. Close rounds, some close rounds in there, obviously. But then from the halfway point, he wrested the momentum back and just put a few good rounds together in a row. And he was just terrific, I thought, because I was wondering whether Beterbiev might start to feel the pace that he set. He set it.
Andy agreed that Bivol was the rightful winner, acknowledging that while Beterbiev had a strong stretch in the middle rounds, the most decisive moments occurred in the second half of the fight. From that point forward, Bivol took the lead and maintained control. Clark also stressed the urgency of a third fight given Beterbiev's age, arguing that time is not on the champion's side. Regardless of the outcome, he suggested that a trilogy bout could be Beterbiev's last at the highest level.
I don't think we could keep him hanging around, because I think that'll be him done, to be honest with you, after the third fight, whatever happens in it, because it's not, people talk about fighters getting old overnight, and that's never going to happen with someone like him, but at that level you're talking absolute fractions. Absolute fractions. And against somebody else, when he was rolling into those middle rounds and keeping the tempo high, you would have done them more damage, and he'd won the fight. But against Bivol was able to ride that out without looking like he was going to unravel.
Gareth A. Davies highlighted the extraordinary nature of the rivalry, emphasizing that after 24 grueling rounds, neither fighter had shown a moment of vulnerability. He praised both men for giving everything they had in the ring and noted that both fights were so closely contested that they could have gone either way.
Over 24 rounds between these two guys is that they haven't shown a minute of pain, a minute of anguish, and yet they've given everything in those 24 rounds, and both fights could have gone either way. I think the best thing, I had Beterbiev winning last night, 7 rounds to 5, even though the judges scored it to Bivol. He thoroughly deserved it. It was what you like to get in terms of styles. But the great thing for boxing fans, and maybe not for them in the long term, is that we'll see a trilogy fight between these two modern masters.
Michael Buffer acknowledged the possibility of a third fight, noting that while many had scored it wider in favor of Bivol, the judges had it much closer, with one judge even ruling it a draw. He had praised the bout as a showcase of classic offense versus defense, highlighting the masterful footwork and counterpunching on display.
Looks like we might go to number 3. I hope so. You know, it's amazing. Most people I talked to had it wider than the judges, especially the judges had it a draw. But classic offense, defense, leg work, counterpunching. It was a great fight.
However, John Scully stated that Bivol's victory was a combination of both factors. Bivol fighting a strong fight and Beterbiev not being able to finish as he usually does. Scully mentioned that he was pleased with Beterbiev's performance in the first half, as he started fast, but ultimately he couldn't maintain his usual finishing ability.
You know, I thought it was a combination of both. Like, Dimitri fought a very good fight. But like I say, the first half of the fight, I was very happy. Like, in the corner, I was very happy with how the fight was going. You know, but things happen. You know, sometimes, usually Arthur finishes much stronger. Now, this fight, he started much quicker, and, you know, it was kind of like a switch off, you know, unfortunately.
Artur Beterbiev admitted that he initially had no intention of pursuing the rematch, but went through with it anyway. Now, with Turki Alalshikh calling for a third fight, Beterbiev stated that he has no problem with it and is willing to follow through with the third fight as well.
Now my time to come back.
Well, you come back, we saw Turki Alalshikh come up to you right after, put 3 fingers in the air, saying third fight. Is that what you want? A rubber match with Dimitri Bivol?
Actually, I don't want second fight too. I mean, it's not my choice, but no problem. We're gonna do third fight if we need.
Additionally, John Scully revealed that at the end of the rounds, he urged Beterbiev to stay aggressive, either by pressing forward to attack or by actively defending against incoming shots. He emphasized that he didn't want Beterbiev waiting on the outside just to catch his breath, as that would allow Bivol to take control. Scully believes that they traded a stronger finish for a stronger start, which did not work well for them.
I felt like he needed to close the gap, you know, and keep firing back, like not letting Dimitri punch and just move. You know, we needed to get on him and have him either punching or defending himself, as opposed to just staying on the outside and catching his breath. Like I said, I thought we had a good game plan. I thought it was working for the most part. Unfortunately, we substituted a stronger start for a stronger finish. You know, ultimately that's the way it played out.
John Scully observed that this time, Bivol was more conservative with his energy, while Beterbiev was the one jumping in to attack earlier than usual. He noted that in a way, both fighters seem to have traded places, each adopting elements of the other's strategy.
Like he doesn't want to fight this time. So he was taking it easy, he was conserving himself. It's almost like both guys traded places from last time. They adopted the opposite game plan.
Anthony Yarde voiced disagreements with the judge's decision, stating that the fight was so close that it was either a draw or a solid win for Beterbiev. Yarde had believed Beterbiev should have gotten victory.
I did.
Yep.
Not.
What?
No, I didn't. So,
You didn't do it?
I thought personally, Beterbiev won. Yeah. Small margin, or it was a draw. But again, you can't argue with the decision being given.
Just his pressure in it, you thought that Beterbiev deserved it? The pressure?
I just personally believe Beterbiev the champion.
Yeah.
I didn't see it as that he took Beterbiev's belts away from him. It was a close fight.
Anthony Joshua praised both Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, calling them elite fighters. He expressed his admiration for their skills and stated that if a trilogy were to happen, he would be very interested in watching it. He commented that both their styles blend well against each other.
I don't know if we need to, but I would definitely watch it. Would you watch it? I would definitely watch it. Do you know what? They're both very elite fighters, because what makes them so unique is that they're so different in terms of their game plans, their strengths, their weaknesses. They're so different, but they gel so well. You know what I mean? Because you're expecting one thing from Artur. Bivol's like slick and showing us what boxing IQ looks like. Then you've got a rugged, tough, strong man in Artur Beterbiev, and they just gel really well.
Frank Warren praised both Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev for delivering a thrilling fight. He acknowledged how closely contested the bout was, and commended both fighters for giving it their all. Warren also highlighted the impressive pace at which the fight was fought, emphasizing the high-level intensity throughout.
Very close, great fight, fabulous fight. You know, two amazing fighters, gladiators, warriors. You know, they gave everything. I mean, gave everything. The pace it was fought at, it was tremendous.
John Scully stressed that the trilogy must happen, stating that there's no way around it. He emphasized the high level of competition, noting that this fight was even better than their first encounter, well contested and fiercely competitive on both sides. In his view, a clear victor needs to be established, making a third fight necessary.
It has to be the trilogy. It has to be. I mean, like, there's no way it can't be. In my eyes, you know, I think the competition was high level, and I think this fight was a better fight than last time, in my opinion. I think it was a better, more well-contested fight, strong on both sides, and I think it's the type of situation where we have to get a clear victory. You know, last time I think it was a split decision, this time was a majority decision. You know, you have to have a clear winner, so it would make sense that they do it again.
Eddie Hearn described Artur Beterbiev as a machine, emphasizing the sheer difficulty of stopping him. He stated that overcoming Beterbiev required one of the greatest performances of a lifetime, and on this night, Dmitry Bivol delivered just that. Hearn added that Bivol's victory was a form of justice for their first fight, as he produced a performance for the ages.
I was watching Artur Beterbiev thinking, this guy's incredible, he's like a machine, how do you stop him? And it took one of the greatest performances of our lifetime to overcome him and to beat him. And Dmitry Bivol did that tonight. Tonight, in my opinion, Dmitry Bivol got justice from the first fight and become the undisputed light heavyweight world champion with a performance for the ages. And now, this man sits here with all the belts, the king of the 175-pound division.
Dev Sani jokingly admitted that he has a scary bromantic relationship with Artur Beterbiev, which naturally made him lean toward supporting him. However, he also stated that in his view, the fight was either a draw or a win for Dmitry Bivol.
Light heavyweight showdown. I was sat next to Jamie Ward and he was very Bivol, and I've got this kind of weird, scary bromance with Beterbiev, so I was quite heavily scoring for him. I ended up with a draw. I found a draw. But it's either a draw or Bivol won. I mean, general consensus is Bivol won. Beterbiev didn't win the fight.
Devsani noted that in the second half of the fight, Bivol gradually took control of the brawl, producing some brilliant moments. He highlighted instances where Bivol evaded punches with precision, adding that it's rare to see Beterbiev miss so wildly or find himself backed against the ropes. Sani credited Bivol for creating those situations, calling his performance nothing short of brilliant.
Certainly in the back half of the fight, Bivol kind of took over for me, and there were so many great moments in there. Great for Bivol, where he had Beterbiev missing and then sort of having to turn around and suddenly Bivol's in front of him, and you don't see Beterbiev often miss wildly like that or with his back to the ropes, and Bivol created these situations, and I think he was pretty brilliant tonight.
Lonnie B acknowledged that Beterbiev versus Bivol was a great fight and scored the first 2 rounds in favor of Bivol. However, he stated that Bivol lost from rounds 3 to 9 before nearly getting stopped in the 12th. He argued that Bivol remained engaged in the fight, consistently throwing punches, and ultimately secured the victory because he was throwing punches and avoided a knockout.
I seen a good fight. I gave Bivol the first 2 rounds. But we're not gonna sit here and act like Bivol didn't do nothing from 3 to 9. Like, he lost, in my opinion, he lost from round 3 to 9. He lost every round. He had an okay round, the 10th round. The 11th round could have went either way. In the 12th round, he almost got stopped. Like, every time Bivol did something, oh my God, a right hand, and the right hand didn't even land. Like, he was just, they giving him the fight because he threw punches here and there and didn't get knocked out.
Moreover, Lonnie B clarified that he doesn't consider Bivol a bad fighter. Quite the opposite. While he felt that Bivol didn't do enough to beat Beterbiev in the rematch, he acknowledged Bivol's exceptional talent. He stated that, much like Beterbiev, Bivol is a special fighter in his own right.
Listen, I never said he wasn't a great fighter. I just don't think he beat Arthur, but he's extremely good as well. So that's why I think Arthur, and not saying that other guys Arthur didn't fight was extremely good, because I think Volznik was extremely good with a lot of amateur fights. Arthur knocked him out. But I think Bivol is a special case, like Arthur. You know what I'm saying?
According to Lonnie B, Bivol is a difficult opponent because of his unique fighting style. He pointed out that Bivol often crouches down, making it harder to land clean shots on him. Up until this fight, every opponent Beterbiev had faced was taller than him, so stylistically, it was a challenging matchup for Beterbiev to find a clear, solid opening.
And I think he's relatively small, and it's kind of harder to fight. And the way he fights, like, he fights kind of like crouched, like, you know what I'm saying? So up to this point, everybody Arthur's fought been taller than him. So you know, stylistically wise, I think it's just a kind of a difficult style for Arthur to get like a real clean, good shot on. You know, and then Bivol got real good legs. He moves more than he punched.
Ade Oladipo praised Dimitri Bivol, emphasizing that his success comes down to a combination of footwork, intelligence, and heart, qualities Bivol possesses in great abundance. He added that, in his opinion, there might not be a better mover and pure boxer in the sport than Bivol. Ade also pointed out how big names were just mesmerized by the performance of Beterbiev and Bivol.
We know what we're doing, and it's about legs, it's about here, intelligence, it's about here, heart. And he has all those 3 in abundance. We know he's got the legs. There might not be a better mover in boxing than Dimitri Bivol. There might not be. I mean, there isn't. There isn't. His movement is just, it's incredible. Oh, you know what was more incredible? We'll get back to the fight in a second. I think I took a video of it. Usyk and Crawford were like that watching.
The rematch between Dimitri Bivol and Artur Beterbiev delivered another high-level clash between 2 elite fighters, with Bivol emerging victorious in a performance many deemed one for the ages. Who did you have winning the bout? Are you excited for the trilogy, or should Bivol fight someone else? Let us know in the comment section below. Put a like on the video and share it with a friend. If you don't want to miss a beat, subscribe to Boxism, and we will see you in the next video with more exciting updates.